The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Erin Holscher. I'm a Business Development Coordinator here at ASTA. I'll be the organizer for today's presentation by Scenic Group, an intimate take on yacht and river cruising. Before we get started, I'd like to point out a few important features on your screen that will allow you to interact with us via the web. We'll be answering your questions at the end of the presentation. However, please feel free to submit those questions throughout. To ask a question, use your GoToWebinar pane. Near the bottom of this pane is an area that says questions. If you click on the arrow next to where it says questions, it will open up a new window page. This is what you will use to communicate with us. If you're having trouble hearing the presentation, please make sure your speakers are turned on, and if you tried calling in, hang up and dial back in. You can send me any technical issues via that same questions pane, and I'll try my best to answer them. I will respond to you via that same pane. Please also note that all audience members are muted. We certainly want to hear from you, but we have so many people on the call that the background noise would be prohibitive, and we want to ensure that everyone can listen to the entire presentation. Finally, please remember that this webinar is being recorded and available for on-demand viewing at asta.org in just a few short days. Please join me in welcoming today's presenter, Andy Fuentes. Andy, take it away.
Erin, thank you, and good morning, afternoon, folks, wherever you are. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Andy Fuentes. I am the Regional Sales Director in Florida for Scenic and Emerald Cruises. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Today, we're going to talk about river cruising as well as the yachts. So I'm going to also, to start, going to tell you a little bit about our company and our brands. A lot of folks think that we're two separate companies, Scenic and Emerald Cruises, but in reality, we're one company, just two different brands. And the brands are based on the experience that your clients are looking for. Because as we know as travel advisors, not one size fits all. So to jump right in, I'm going to talk a little bit about our company, a little bit about, our brands and, are we part of a larger cruise line, or we're part of an investor group, or we're part of other companies. So just to kind of tell you a little brief history on Scenic, we are an Australian-based company. So we started about 40 years ago in Australia, and we gradually became this big global company. So some of you may have heard of us, some of you may not, some of you may be in between, have heard a little bit about us. But if you are living in Australia, or if you're living in Europe or the UK, we are a household name. We just came over to the States about 10 years ago, and we are the new kid on the block. We're starting to get our names out there. And part of it, we need your help, because definitely we have these amazing products that your clients are definitely going to love. So we are an independent family-owned business. And the photograph that you see there before you is our owners, Glenn and Karen Maroney. So we're not part of a big cruise line. We are not part of an investor group or a chain of companies. We're actually our own individual company. Our global headquarters is in Australia, but our US headquarters is located in Hollywood, Florida. It's about 15 minutes where I live. And these are the companies that are under the Scenic Group. So today we're going to talk about the Scenic Eclipse and Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours, and also Emerald Cruises. But just keep in mind that we do have two other companies, one being Mayflower, which probably folks are very familiar with, and then Evergreen is actually an Australian-based company. So let's talk about the two brands and what makes these two brands, Scenic and Emerald Cruises, very unique. And we're going to start with Emerald today. And we're going to start talking about river cruises. So to tell you the difference between the two brands, Scenic, think of it as the all-inclusive butler service in every stateroom, ultra luxury brand. So I like to always call it the big sister. Emerald is nicely included, doesn't have all the bells and whistles like Scenic does, but no matter what, you're going to get the best service and the best culinary that both brands have to offer. So part of the same family, just again, like I said, two different experiences. And then we're going to talk about Emerald Cruises first. And this is our Emerald Starship. Now we have 9 starships in our fleet right now, primarily in Europe. And then we have one in Mekong in Asia. So a lot of folks that come in our cruises on Emerald are on the younger side. How about young professionals, empty nesters, world travelers, even parents with teenagers. And I'm talking about middle school to high school age that they use the ports of call that we have on a river cruise as part of education, getting immersed in culture. So that's primarily who comes around Emerald. Of the age group, I would say from 35 to 50. That's usually the demographic that we have on board Emerald. Now, what makes Emerald very unique is that we are a hodgepodge of cultures. Remember that we are an Australian-based company, and a lot of Australians, a lot of Europeans, a lot of Brits come on board Emerald and Scenic. And then again, more Americans are coming in, and Canadians, and even some South Americans. So on board, don't be surprised if you're sitting next to an Australian. Or across the way from someone from the UK or Germany, or even something like Venezuela or Colombia or Brazil. You never know who's going to be right across you from you next to us, and that makes our culture very unique. Now, because we're an Australian-based company, our main language is English. Okay, so it's not that we change our language, anything like that. Based on primarily our language that our crew speaks, it is going to be English. So let's talk about what's included. Remember I told you that Emerald is a nicely included cruise. So off the top, what's included is going to be your transfers. And transfers, it doesn't matter if you book your air through us or not. We are still going to include our transfers if you're there day of embarkation, debarkation. We even go the extra step if you want to book our hotels, like the partner hotels, independently. We also include you in our transfer roster. So you don't have to, get an Uber or a taxi. You can actually be included in our transfers for free. And then there are some other case-by-case basis, like if you're coming by train, or something like that, that we definitely can include the transfers. So if definitely you have a unique case, just don't forget to tell the cruise consultant when you call in that you have this situation. Your transfers for your clients might be included. What also is included is Wi-Fi with streaming capabilities. Those are included. Gratuities, and gratuities are included not only for the crew on board and your stateroom attendants and your wait staff, but also your tour guides, which is great. That means that tour guides are not going to be in your client's face. The other thing that it's included is going to be excursions. Now, we have 2 excursions that we include at every stop. And in this presentation, I'll tell you what those excursions are, which you probably can see in the box, the Emerald Plus and the Emerald Active, and I'll tell you what those consist of. And then the last thing that's included is beer and wine at lunch and dinner, which comes to things that are not included. So mixed drink martinis, scotches, cocktails, those are not included. But we do have beverage package at a nominal fee here for you. And then additional shore excursions. So include 2, but if your clients want to do something that is not offered, definitely we can do that for a nominal fee as well. So as you come in, and that's like kind of peaked here, as you come in, this is the reception area. And what I like about river cruising, for those of you that have never done a river cruise before, or those of you maybe dabbled in a little bit, but don't have a full-on experience, what I like about the river cruise experience is there's not too much zigzagging like an ocean cruise. There's not a big port you have to go through and then get your key card, get your photography, and so forth and so on, pass a maze to get onto the ship, and then go on a big ship to find your stateroom. There's nothing like that. It's basically once you get off the motor coach, you just get on the ship and then come into the reception. The check-in process, it's about 10 minutes tops. And all you need to check in our cruises is your passport and your health questionnaire, and that is it. There is not going to, we don't ask for your credit card. We don't ask for any vaccination papers or PCR tests or anything like that. We don't at all ask you for that. So when you come and check in, we'll have the crew to escort you to your stateroom, and your stateroom attendant will meet you there. Talking about the staterooms, talking about a size of 185 square feet or larger, which if you've been on an ocean cruise, probably thinking, well, that's kind of the standard stateroom for an ocean cruise. You're right, but it's definitely a big stateroom for a river cruise. So this is here. This is the standard river cruise stateroom. And I apologize, I have my 2-year-old that ran in here. Oh, and he's sleeping. All right. So sorry about that. So this is the standard balcony stateroom. Now we do have the ocean view stateroom. It's about 180 square feet. But folks, I will tell you the majority of our staterooms is balcony, a French balcony, and it's honestly something that you definitely recommend your clients to have. Very comfortable bedding, very nice French balcony space. The bathroom space are also very large. But if your client wants a little bit more of room, then I definitely would recommend like the 1-bedroom suite, as you see here, that has a full living room. Does have a little area. If folks want to work, as you know, a lot of folks are remote since COVID. So if that's something that they want, they're asking for you, hey, you want a little bit of more room, maybe you have work, or maybe, you know, I deserve this vacation because it's such a long, and definitely I would recommend something like a 1-bedroom suite. So after you unpack your bags, after you get yourself settled in, I do recommend for your clients to come into Horizon Bar and Lounge, which is this right here. Pretty large space. This is where basically everything happens. This is where shows happening. This is where the game shows also happening. Theme nights. The entertainment is more cabaret style, and we do bring local flair on board. This is also where you have Port Talk. Port Talk is basically an information session that your clients are going to receive based on what's happening, what's going to happen the next day. The chef comes on and tells you what's for dinner, wine pairings, excursions that you're going to take by our cruise director, activities, basically the rundown of what's going to happen. And happens at 6 p.m. every single day is located here. My personal favorite about Horizon Bar and Lounge is basically the bar. So it's a full-on bar. Again, beer and wine are included at lunch and dinner, and we usually open up the bar service an hour before dinner, an hour before lunch and dinner, and an hour after lunch and dinner. So if folks want to get the included drinks, they can come here an hour before, and they don't have to be in the restaurant. They can come here, grab the wine or beer. Again, if they want to mix drinks, cocktails, or anything like that, it will be a la carte, and they will be charged at the end. Same thing with spa. They'll be charged at the end before they leave. They just settle their bill with cash or credit card, whichever one they want. This is going to be the outdoors terrace, and the terrace is right outside Horizons. So if you want to grab some light bites or anything like that, just for breakfast and lunch, light snacks or anything like that, we do have that option to be a more outdoor seating. A lot of people like to come here just to see the areas that they are in, the rivers that they're in. And then finally, the Horizon Bar and Lounge, not the Horizon, Reflection Restaurant. My son got my attention here. Reflection Restaurant. So this is available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So typically, this is what you find on a river cruise. And again, I'm showing this not only to show what Emerald's all about, but also for those folks that have never taken a river cruise that want to sell a river cruise. This is basically kind of the standard, the norm that you'll find on a river cruise. What makes Emerald very different is this right here, which is the indoor pool. We're the only cruise line that has an indoor pool in their on their ships. Now, this pool is open very early in the morning to close to sunset. And again, this area right here is always going to be 80 degrees. So the roof does retract. So if there's inclement weather or if it's very cold outside, remember if you're going on a Christmas market and you want to go in the pool, you definitely can. So tell your clients to bring their swimsuit because again, always going to be here 80 degrees, even if the outside's about like 20 degrees, 10 degrees, something like that. Not many people come here, so I don't think you're going to be fighting for a chair or anything like that. When I went on the river cruise last year, this typically wasn't not very full. But again, a lot of folks like to come here, especially when the ship goes on by from one city to another, and you see the beautiful picturesque landscape. For example, if you're traveling the Rhine, you can see a lot of castles, and a lot of people hung around here because actually it's still a very good viewing area. After that, after sunset at nighttime, the pool converts into a movie theater. So your clients are more than welcome to come here. We do have showings of various movies in here, and we do have that schedule for you. So if you'd like to come here, eat popcorn, candy, so forth and so forth, so on and so forth. We do have the sun deck. Sun deck, if people like to come outside, they like to play games, whether it be miniature golf, whether they like to sunbathe, or just play cards over here, or just take it in, wait for these beautiful landscapes that you're in. So the itineraries that we offer, if it's the first time that you're looking at river cruises, I definitely have some homework for you. When you finish this webinar, and I'm sure that we are one of many vendors that you're looking at. Typically, what I always advise folks is you definitely want to get familiarized yourself with two itineraries, which is the Rhine River, and this is the Rhine from Amsterdam to Basel or vice versa, and also the Danube River. Danube River is from Nuremberg to Budapest or vice versa, and this is called the Upper Danube, and then Budapest to Bucharest, which is the Lower Danube. The itineraries on these cruises are 7 days or 15 days. 15 days is Amsterdam, including the Moselle, which is this area right here down to Basel, or Amsterdam all the way to Budapest. Again, vice versa. It's 15 days. Or some folks like to do Nuremberg to Bucharest is also 15 days. So our itineraries from 7, 11, and 15 days. What we like about Emerald is she has 5-day cruises, kind of like testers. Some folks that want to just dip their toe in the water on river cruising. And we do have it for the Tulips and Windmills and also the Christmas market cruises. We do have 5-day cruises. And this is great to offer for those folks that don't have that much time, to experience the whole week and maybe want a few days on land. Again, and those are, for those that have never taken a river cruise before, when I say Tulips and Windmills, it is this area right here, this kind of like circle. This is available in the springtime, March to April. And then Christmas markets is available from November to December. And the best way to describe the Christmas markets cruise is, imagine if I turn you back to 8 years old and you're living a Charles Dickens novel. That's honestly the best way to describe a Christmas market. It is food, it is the holidays, everything is decorated for the holidays, it is wine, it is hot wines, it is souvenirs, it is carolers, it is everything you can imagine what the holidays are all about. And this is again on the Rhine and also in the Danube. But then there are also these itineraries. The south of France, the Seine and the Rhone, the Saône and the Rhone River, is from Lyon to Lyon or Lyon to Marseille. This particular area is the best culinary in the world. And then the hottest itinerary right now, and I don't mean hot weather-wise, I mean hot as in demand, is the Douro River. Douro River right now has come in many publications as the hottest itinerary for 2023. And it's due to Porto right here. Porto has become an up-and-coming city. The Douro River also has great Portuguese and Spanish wine because you do visit the wine region here. And a lot of people want to tank on Madrid and also Lisbon. So, for example, we don't have that much availability on the Douro River until late summer, fall of this year, and we're actually selling up for 2024. So that's definitely, if your clients are looking for something in the Jewel River, definitely the time to book is today. So let's talk about the excursions that we have available. So there's two types of excursions, one being the Emerald Active. The Emerald Active excursions are more for those folks that just don't want to do just the city walk. You know, they want to go biking or hiking, kayaking, canoeing. We do have activity managers on board, and these activity managers will sometimes lead the bike ride or lead the hike. But they're also there for activities on board, like water Zumba or yoga or jogging or a walk, you know, something on board the cruise, or instructors in Pilates and yoga, so forth and so on. But then, of course, you have those folks that do not want to do all these activities. Then we do have the Emerald Plus, which is more immersion type. So going into the heart of the city, going around what's a good restaurant or wine tasting, or going around the landmarks. We also have sometimes performances or culinary events, so forth and so on. So we do have kind of the two excursions that are more for the active seekers and more for just the low impact type of activities. So one of the cool features we have right now on Emerald is we are advertising family river cruises. We're not known for that, I'll be honest with you. So if you're seeing this for the very first time, you say, oh, I didn't know. Well, don't worry, actually this was just launched this year. Now, I don't want you to think that every single cruise is a family river cruise. It's not. We honestly have taken out 2 sailings in July, one in both are mid-July, one on the Rhine and one on the Danube, for those parents that want to bring their children, and I'm talking about 10 years old or older, on to a river cruise. Because a lot of the stereotypes, if you will, on a river cruise, that it is more for an older crowd. Folks, I will tell you that that is not the case. You know, you do have a lot of young people. You do have even some families that bring their kids on board. But again, when they bring their kids, they're using the ports of more educational, because we don't have the rock climbing wall, we don't have the ice skating rings or the surfboard or pools, and I mean multiple pools. We have a pool, but not multiple pools, nothing like that. So we developed these 2 cruises to see what families would think if we, culminate this or curate these cruises for them. So 2 family cruises that we're going to curate a lot of activities for children. We're going to tailor a lot of excursions for children. So think of it as testers. And if it goes well, we definitely will bring some more the next year. And if that goes well, we'll bring some more the following year. So if you do have families that ask you, hey, have you heard of any single river cruise line that can bring my children on board? And remember, they have to be older than 10. Yes, we do have that. And you can ask myself or your regional sales director more information about these river cruises. The last but not least, about groups. A lot of folks, they have a lot of groups. I see a ton of groups being advertised on Facebook and around. So on Emerald, we want to make it as easy as possible. So the first things first, we do offer you commission of 15% or higher. We also give you group savings, and you only need typically 5 staterooms to create a group. Now, everything you see here is negotiable. So definitely have a group opportunity. We have a lot of group offers. I don't want to go too much into the weeds because, again, I want to respect everybody's time. So if you have a group opportunity, let me know, let your regional sales director know in your area, and we could definitely walk you through the process and get your groups on board an Emerald Cruise. So we talked about Emerald. Now let's kind of graduate ourselves into Scenic. Now Scenic, it's the ultra luxury side. This is now where everything is included from A to Z. And typically what's on a Scenic, who is on a Scenic cruise, it's a little bit more older than Emerald, talking about 57 to 75, the baby boomers. They are wine and food lovers. They're wanderlust. They're looking to explore the areas in Europe, the areas in Asia. So those are the ones that you typically would find on board our cruises. And like I mentioned at the very top, everything is included. So a lot of folks always ask me, okay, so let's talk about drinks. Is every drink included? Yes. Do they have an up to price? No. Can they order anything they want off the menu? Yes, unless it's like the Louis XVI cognac. Yes, it is included. But excursions, yes, also included. We have up to 5 excursions at every stop that is included. What about the gym, specialty dining? Yes, everything is included, with the exception of the spa. The spa is not included. So if they want a spa treatment, that will be a la carte on their own. Again, we'll set off the bill. But other than that, that's basically it. A lot of folks also ask me about the excursions. What if you don't offer it? And my client wants to do maybe something off the beaten path. If we can find transportation, if we can definitely find a way to do it for you, then yes, it would be included. There's no additional cost for it. One thing I'm thinking about Scenic that I definitely would like, that definitely I like to experience, and I have experienced, is that there's a butler in every single one of the staterooms. And it doesn't matter if it's the lowest category or the highest, you know, you're going to get a butler in every single stateroom. And butler gets to press your clothes, get to steam your clothes, if you pack and unpack, bring champagne to you, can even make reservations out in town. So if your clients or even yourself, you know, you recommend a restaurant, a nice restaurant in Vienna or Budapest, and you definitely want them to make reservations, the butler can do that for them. Fun fact, how many people know that they can't? And the reason being is that we want to keep our service at the highest level. And that's what Scenic is all about. Now, don't get me wrong, you will find also the same type of service on Emerald. But a lot of folks, again, when they come on Scenic, they notice that off the bat because, again, everything is included. And they bring the champagne, they bring the bottles of wine, and they bring a little surprise and delights here for you. And again, this is more the upscale ultra luxury. On a Scenic cruise, just to kind of give you a little tour of the spaceship, not take too much time on this, but this is the Panorama Bar and Lounge. This is, again, one of the largest public area there is on board the ships, where the bar is. This is also with one of our specialty dinings is. This is also the entertainment area, and this is a very large area, hence the name of the spaceship. Then you have the sun deck outside. Now the pool is not inside like Emerald, it's outside. And you have extensive, lots of seating areas. And folks like to come here, grab a cocktail, maybe brunch, or even go out for a burger or bratwurst or sausages. We have those options are available on the sun deck. Our main dining room is the Crystal Dining, and this is on board the ship. It's more country club casual, so don't think you have to bring like any suits or long gowns or, you know, evening gowns, anything like that. Everything is very casual. The other thing we ask folks not to bring like shorts or like flip flops to the dining rooms, but definitely, you know, jeans or nice pants or dockers or whatever the case is. Boat shoes are fine, or, you know, for the women, open toe shoes are fine too. So this is available on breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you can come in, sit down, we'll give you a menu. You can order anything you want off the menu. And we do offer buffet style as well for those who just want to grab and go. Now, we do have we have 2 specialty dinings here on Scenic. One is Portobello's, and Portobello's is our Italian restaurant, Italian steakhouse, if you will. And this has about 25 seating areas. These reservations are required, so definitely make reservations with the butler or they make reservations at the restaurant. So a lot of folks come here, you know, there's a nice celebration, want to try a different dining option. Is dressing up required? No, but remember when I told you it's hodgepodge of cultures. So if your client asks, do I have to dress up? No, but you don't want to be a fish out of the water. You don't want to stick out a sore thumb, because you're going to find that a lot of people are going to elevate their dress when they come to portobellos. Now, the last one that's not pictured here is the chef's table. Chef's table is by invitation only, and usually that is available to the higher categories. And this is kind of a 6 to 7 course dinner with wine pairing. The presentation is phenomenal. It's one of the best dining experiences I've ever had. So think about like a chef's table on a cruise ship times 100. That is actually the best description to what our chef's table is all about. The staterooms on the Scenic spaceships are large. Typically, you can find the most people on this cruise 164 or less. And I say less because our ships were custom built for these rivers. So you're going to find smaller small size of guests when you go to the Jewel River or the Bordeaux or the Mekong, where our ships can't be as large as the Rhine and the Danube. So that's why when you see the Jewel River or the Mekong, you find maybe you have 100 people, 110, 120, because again, these are custom built ships, but it's not going to exceed more than 164 passengers. The bathrooms on the staterooms are large. This is an example, and again, this doesn't do it justice because it's missing this area right here, which actually that's where the toilet and a little bit more space, kind of like a little cubby hole. So you don't see that there because of the way the picture was taken. Then you have the junior suite, which is a larger, even larger stateroom, and then the 1-bedroom owner suite, which that does exist, and that's actually the largest stateroom that we have on all of our fleet. We have 14 spaceships all around, again, primarily in Europe or the Mekong. And again, very familiar itineraries. We don't offer 5 days on Scenic, though. I think it's going to be 7, 11, or 15. But you see 2 additional itineraries, being one in Bordeaux. We go to 4 different areas in Bordeaux. And then you also have the Seine River, which is Paris to Honfleur. These are the 2 additional itineraries that we have on board Scenic. Not going to go too much on the shore excursions. I definitely did explain that we have up to 5 different shore excursions at every stop. And these shore excursions vary. If you recall, Emerald had just Emerald Active and the Emerald Plus, nothing in between. Scenic has the in between. So Scenic has the Active, it also has the low impact, but has a lot in between. So there's a lot of choices for your clients to make what excursion that they want. They can book their excursions early when they make their reservation. If they don't have the excursion, or if they or availability shuts down, tell them not to panic. Definitely you can see that you can come to on board and ask the cruise director if there's a little bit of space. Normally we do give like a little wiggle room to add more people to the excursions. Now, what makes the Scenic different is this particular event, which is the Scenic Enrichment Program. Now, the Scenic Enrichment Program, just to kind of give you a broad view, this is only offered on Scenic. It's not offered on Emerald. And what this is for one night of the cruise. We have 7 days, 11 or 12, or 15, excuse me. One night, we're going to bring you to a venue. Now, this venue could be the Palais de Liechtenstein you see there in Vienna, the Sounds of Music in Salzburg, the Palais de Papis, which is the Pope's Palace in Avignon in France. And then you do have more venues. You have museums, you have performances. The reasons why we offer this is typically a person would like to attend one of these venues. Now, it's very difficult, especially for those that probably have booked one of these venues before. Sometimes that ticket is very difficult to get. Also, it costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And when you come to these venues, once you purchase the ticket, once you go to the event, it is long, and then you have a lot of people there. So seating may not be great, or it could be kind of people on top of each other. So we're going to eliminate all the stress. What we're going to do is basically rent out the space and have just our guests attend these performances, go to these venues, go to these museums, and It's just them. There's no one else. And best of all, it is complimentary. So again, for those that have never been on a river cruise, the equivalent, and again, many will argue there's no equivalent, but the equivalent, if I would compare something in the US, is think about if I rent out Carnegie Hall and I have a private performance for your client. Or think about if I rent out the Met in New York and I give you a special pass that you can go anywhere and anything, do whatever you want. You can talk to whoever you want, even go backstage. This is the type of activity that we have on Scenic. It's one night only. It is complimentary to everybody, and it differs with the itineraries. So this is what makes Scenic very different from some of our competitors. So last but not least, folks are going to ask about single supplements. I know singles are right now hot. You know, there's a lot of single travelers out there, and we definitely want to accommodate them. So we're offering for 2023, we're offering a 125 reduced single supplement. The only catch is that they have to pay in full. It's the only catch, and it's not combinable with any other offer. Again, if you have single travelers, it's something that you want to advertise. So if some folks come to your head, let us know. Talk about your regional sales director, your RSTs. Let us know, and we definitely can share the list with you so you can advertise to your single travelers. So that is River Cruise, both Scenic and Emerald. So at the top of the key, I told you that we're going to go over rivers, and we're also going to go over yachts. So our next experience we're going to look at is going to be the ocean cruises, the Emerald Yachts. The Emerald Yachts are warm weather ships. So you're going to find them in the Mediterranean, you're going to find them in the Indian Ocean, you're going to find them in the Arabian Ocean, Red Sea, and Caribbean. They don't go anywhere else. And this is more relaxing than exploration. Best of all, these super yachts only have 100 passengers. Now, when talk about yachts, we're the new kid on the block, we're the brand new toy. And small cruising right now is pretty popular, especially after the pandemic. So yes, this reminds you of a small cruise ship, but keep in mind, this is not cruising, this is yachting. So what we offer is 7 decks of fun. First off, you have the aqua pool and cafe, which is here. You have the marina that's here, and you have the sky bar that's here. But you also have items inside the ship, whether it be the Amici Bar and Lounge, that's the kind of the heartbeat of the ship. You have La Cocina Dining, which is one restaurant. You have a full range spa, full range gym. You even have an observation deck where folks just sit down indoors, enjoy a coffee and a book, and enjoy the nice scenery that you have on this ship. The highlights of the ship is this one. This is the infinity pool. This is honestly what always calls to what everybody sees, and what people get called on to go on the ship is this thing right here. This is amazing. And you have a lot of areas around here people like to sit, have a drink, have a cocktail, enjoy. I guess it's more for relax. This is more as put your hair down, sit down, have a nice flatbread. By the way, we have the best flatbreads in the world, and I definitely will debate this with anyone. Have a cocktail, have a wine, and just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the quiet time. Now, other than quiet time, we also have a little more activities. We have the marina. People can enjoy the skis, the water skis, the canoes, the kayaks. We even have our own tender. This is actually our own tender that actually cranes from the ship. So we don't wait for anyone. So we might have a private beach party, and days at sea are not the days at sea that folks are used to in an ocean. So not that you get to play in the casino. We don't have casinos, by the way. you enjoy, the Harry Chessman contest or the belly flop. We don't have nothing like that. It's basically for you to enjoy the ocean. So we open up at the marina. You definitely can jump into the water. You can jump into the pool, or sometimes we offer like private beach parties that you can take the tender and we go out to the sandbar and have this whole barbecue, have a whole beach party, and it's just us in a remote area in the world. If you're thinking to yourself, this is kind of like that show Below Deck on Bravo TV. Yes, it's actually just like that, except without the price, and you're there with 99 of your other friends. But it's very affordable. With everything all in, and I'm talking about, because we have good inclusions on the yachts, and this, I would honestly compare it to the same cost you would spend on a Slave Play Apex. And with everything, I mean, specialty dining, with alcohol, with blah, 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 everything in, probably it's the same price to go on a yacht than the same thing as being on a celebrity cruise. Now, where do we go? Like I said, it's pretty much warm weather climates. So we're not going to do the winter. We don't do we don't stay in the Med in the winter. We don't go to the Arctic or the Antarctic or anything like that. No, it's just basically warm weather climates. So we do go south for the winter, whether it be in the Caribbean or be in the Emirates, in the Arabian Sea or the Indian Ocean. That's where we go in the winters. And in the summers, we are in the Adriatic, we are in the Mediterranean, we are in the Aegean, in the Ionian. That's usually where we hang out. Itineraries kind of looks like this. Now, a couple of things. First off, this is scratch the surface. There are many, 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 many other itineraries that we offer. But the reason why I show you these itineraries is for you to kind of get a grasp that we offer small boutique ports of call. And some of these ports of call you cannot get to on the big ships because they're just too big. But we offer it on the small yachts. Example, Venice. Venice right now, the big ships are about 3 hours away from the airport. So you have to get a transfer of 2 to 3 hours tops. Our small yachts, it takes 15 minutes. We are able to dock in Venice because of our size. Now take a look at this. This is 6 ports in Croatia, not to include Dubrovnik. You're talking about the beautiful escape, European escape. This is it right here. This is so popular. And again, take for the people who live there. I mean, this is a lot of Europeans, a lot of Australians that come on vacation here, and they like to take the yachts. Not many Americans know that this little gem exists. It is so popular that actually this itinerary is sold out through the summer of next year. We're done for 2023. It's 2024 on. I'm saying if your clients are looking for something different, because I hear it all the time, my clients are looking for something different. My clients don't want to do the Caribbean anymore. If they don't want to do the Med, they want to do something different, get them on a yacht. I'm telling you, they're going to love it. If they don't want to do Croatia, check this out, Greece and Italy. And again, this doesn't scratch the surface. We have Greek, we have Turkey, we have Israel, we have Jordan, we have Egypt, we have the Emirates, talking about Abu Dhabi or Dubai. Hopefully we have the Seychelles soon. We have Caribbean, which I'll show you some of the Caribbean sailings. So this is, again, something very different that your clients may not experience. Now, if you're below deck fans and you definitely want the below deck experience, we're offering a 2 yacht cruises with Chef Ben Robinson from Below Deck. One of them is going to be this year to the Mediterranean. This is going to go from Rome into Venice. This one is selling out. We only have 3 staterooms left. So definitely, if this is new to you and you definitely want to get your clients on, please call them today, no later than tomorrow, because this sailing is just about ready to sell out. The other one is in March of 2024. Remember, we only have 50 staterooms, only 100 people. This one is actually more than half booked. So again, this one you have a little bit more time, but not that much time. So definitely, if this is something they want to do, if you want to put this on social media, so forth and so on, definitely do this as soon as possible, because these sailings will sell out. But check out this itinerary right there, the San Juan to St. John's. And this is, again, some of the Caribbean itineraries that we offer. We are going to be here in the Caribbean. There's two ships, the Azura and Sakara, will be here in the Caribbean mid-November through early April. We're going to go back to the Mediterranean. So you want to do a transatlantic. We're going to do one from, and again, just off of memory, from San Juan to Lisbon. So that's going to be something that that you may want to take a look. So before the question gets asked, is this ship going to approach the United States? Unfortunately, no. We are not going to be in the United States, as in it's not going to leave from Miami or Fort Lauderdale. The closest the ship is going to get on is San Juan. I know, I'm very sad too. But hopefully, if we do a very good Caribbean season, it might return back a few years from now, and hopefully we get a Miami Fort Lauderdale port in the future. So last but not least, before I wrap it up, I definitely want to go over this beauty right here, which is the Scenic Eclipse. The Scenic Eclipse is the Scenic's yacht. You kind of catch the pattern. We have a river on Emerald, a river on Scenic, a yacht on Emerald, a yacht on Scenic. So this one is, you're right, it has all the bells and whistles. This one travels to all 7 continents. And the best way to describe it is if I take an expedition ship and the yacht and put it together, and here's the Scenic Eclipse. She is the James Bond of the ocean. She has 2 helicopters and a submarine on her, 228 passengers, 9 dining venues, with the 10th being your stateroom. We have free room service, and everything is included. Now, normally I would show you a video, but it just doesn't translate well online. But if I were you, want videos on these ships, maybe want to do a little bit of a deeper dive, I recommend you to go to our YouTube channel, whether it be Scenic, or if you go to Emerald, and you're going to see these beautiful ships being displayed in nice videos that you can share on your social media. So Scenic includes everything. Again, A to Z, everything's included. What's not included is going to be spa, helicopter, and the submarine. Those are not included. Everything else is included. You do have the butler service, all the dining venues, and we have 9, are also all included. The stateroom size is 350 square feet, and all the beverages are included. The one you see right here is the Whiskey Tower, which is right when you come in, right when reception, if you turn around, you see this big Whiskey Tower. It's called the 100 Choice Whiskey Bar, and there is 134 different types of whiskey, bourbon, and scotches from all over the world. And yes, folks, before you ask the question, yes, they are all included. Now, one of the things that we pride ourselves on the Scenic Eclipse is not only we bring the ultra luxury service, but we also bring different ways to explore the world, whether it be by air with the helicopter, on the water with our ship and our water toys, under the water with submersible, or on land with our large variety part of excursions. So just like the rivers, we do have up to 5 different excursions per every port. And again, it is a variation of what your clients would like to experience, whether it be active, low impact, or somewhere in between. I call this the dining options because a lot of folks think when they talk about yachts that they don't have that many dining options. We have 9 dining options, from casual dining to buffets to fine dining. The fine dining options, you do have to make reservations. So we have everything under the sun. We do have a theater on board that folks can catch shows. The seats do recline. The staterooms, like I mentioned, 350 square feet. The bedding does actually incline and decline, which is great. You do have a gym, you have a meditation room, you have the mud room, because we do have the expedition side. You have everything and anything on this particular vessel. This vessel is one of the best to go anywhere on the world. And I'm talking about anywhere on the world, anywhere around the world. Now, we don't have a world cruise. We don't have that. But we do have a large extent of cruises. We have from repositionings to expedition, So just casual cruising. So if you just want to try this out in the Mediterranean, we have it. If you want to try it in wine country, we have it. Actually, having a cruise even in May from San Diego to Vancouver, hitting all the wineries in the West Coast, we have it. You're going to go through the Northwest Passage to go to Alaska, we have it. So folks, this is honestly a great way to experience the world with the Scenic Eclipse. We did talk about the shore excursions. We actually had a large variety of shore excursions. We also have different things to do, whether within the Arctic or the Antarctic. We have the paddle boards, we have the kayaks, we have the Zodiacs. You can even do a polar plunge if you want to. We have that available. If it's too cold for you, don't worry. We have warm weather activities, whether it's the jet skis, the Zodiacs, snorkeling. The Scenic Eclipse is invited to all the coral reefs in the world, and that particular reason is because she does not need an anchor to dock anywhere. So yeah, she doesn't have an anchor. It doesn't exist. We have something called GPS dynamic positioning, which is basically our stabilizers, which is the exact same size as the Oasis of the Seas, keep us very steady and able to dock anywhere without harming the environment. Tomorrow is a very special day for us because we're launching the Scenic Eclipse 2 tomorrow, and she is going to be now the second ship of her class that's going to go around the world. So that's how we get to do a lot of more itineraries, and hopefully there's going to be some more down the road. So these are all the experiences that we have. Hopefully you took some notes. Now, and to do a more deeper dive, I definitely would encourage you to go to our Agent Academy, which is on scenicusa.com. On the upper right-hand corner, you can see the agent portal. You cannot miss it. And then at the agent portal, you can definitely go to the Agent Academy and do classes. Definitely sign up for webinars and events, and register your agency if your agency has not registered with us yet. There are other things that are here too, especially social media. We have pre-drafted social media already done for you, so all you have to do is just copy and paste. So I'm in Florida, but we have some other folks around the country. So if you're located in California or Arizona, it'll be Nancy. Upstate California, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Colorado, etc. will be Kelly. I'm just Florida. You have Brandon, who covers the Southeast, and Mark, who covers the Northeast. Unfortunately, Tim has left us, so right now the Midwest is vacant. But if you have any, if you're in the Midwest and need some assistance, feel free to email myself. I will stand in until we find the replacement here for you. This is how you reach out to me. I am on Facebook and I share a lot of content. So even if you're not in Florida, please follow me on Facebook. Just put Andy Fuentes Scenic and you will find me, request me, share my content. Please, it is there for you. Learn a little bit about Scenic and Emerald. Again, we're the new kid on the block, and definitely it's a great way to vacation. If you click on my link tree, you're going to find a lot of great websites, a lot of great social media pages, everything for your best resources, including our offer snapshot, which tells you all of our offers that we have, and they are updated on a daily basis. And with that, that is all for today, and I will throw it back to our hostess with the mostest, Ms. Erin. I will go ahead and throw it back to you to see if there are any questions.
Well, thank you, Andy. Such an amazing presentation with great content. We've got such excitement in the chat with just oohs and ahs, and a lot of advisors that I think are really connecting some dots, getting some pre-planning for future bookings with you. So thank you so much for all of that information. So I would love the opportunity to jump into our Q&A session here. As a reminder to everyone on the webinar today, if we don't get to your question today, I will be sharing with Andy as well and letting him know any unanswered questions, and he'll be able to follow up with you directly, him and his team. So let's see here. So Andy, I know we had a lot of excitement about the single supplement, but could you tell us if a client does book a single supplement, are they able to add a second passenger later for the river cruises, or could you elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, there's yes, they can, and definitely well, all the promotions that we have available at that time, yes, we definitely in. It's always easier to add, folks. It's just hard to subtract. Just remember that. That's industry wide. It's easier to add. It's very difficult to subtract.
Excellent, thank you. Now, with those special events that you talked about with the river cruises, those particular itineraries, including the concerts and museums and such, is that communicated prior to clients coming on board? Will they know about that when when advisors are looking to book clients, or tell us a little bit about the schedule for that?
So yes, you're going to know that it's going to be held. Now, what venue, when, and where? That's usually communicated right before they go on board, and sometimes even on the ship. And they just again see what venue is available, because they may have a special event, etc. What I would suggest to your clients, let them know that they're going to have a special event, because they will have one. They'll have a special event. We can definitely find out for you with our reservations, or your regional sales director. We can definitely point you to what event. But just keep in mind that sometimes we may not know until you're on board. But just let the clients know that they will have a special event, and it will be communicated throughout the ship what exactly we're going to do.
Excellent, thank you. Now, is that special event, is there a limited number of spots available, and advisors need to get signed up for that well in advance, or as soon as they get on board, or is everyone eligible?
Everybody is invited.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's see here. So talking a little bit about some logistical elements. Does Scenic provide dry cleaning, or is it only laundry for guests?
That's a very good question. Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head, but if you send me a quick email, I'll definitely find that out for you. I think we do both. I mean, I'm pretty confident. Right now I'm just drawing a blank, and I don't remember at this time.
Not a problem. I'll connect you with that advisor to be able to touch base on that. Now, does Scenic and Emerald have an air department, or could you talk a little bit about how?
Yeah, we do have an air department, and one thing I didn't mention is that we include air. Right now we have a promo that if folks pay in full, we do include free air, which is great, free economy. And definitely if they want premium economy business class, we can definitely upgrade them for a fee. We do have an air department. They're very good, and they definitely can accommodate your clients. We take very pride in ourselves that we do not charge any custom air fee or deviation fee.
Excellent. Now, are gratuities included in Scenic?
Yes, everything is included.
Okay, thank you. That kind of walks me into my next question as well. And I know we were discussing that wine and beer for lunch and dinners. Could you tell us a little bit more about what's included outside of? So if you could tell us when those beverages are included, or give a additional breakdown on that.
Yeah, so this is more on the Emerald side. So remember, at Scenic, everything is included, anytime, anywhere. So this is more for Emerald. So Emerald beer and wine is free at lunch and at dinner. Usually, the free bar service opens up an hour before lunch and dinner, and stays open an hour after lunch and dinner. We do announce a last call, and it's a last call for free alcohol. And then once that time passes, the bar still is open, but everything will be a la carte.
Excellent, thank you. Now let's see here. So could you talk a little bit more about the Emerald family cruises? We had an advisor, and I'm not sure if you know this offhand, but I think they're very interested in getting additional information about it. But they did ask specifically what the itinerary is for the Emerald family cruises in July. Do you happen to know that information, or should we follow up?
Yes, I do. So I wasn't going to go too much into it because I want to be pressed for time. But the family cruises, we have two of them. One is the Rhine River, Amsterdam to Basel, on July the 15th. And then I believe the Danube is on July 17th, from Nuremberg to Budapest. I'm trying to find it right now as we speak. So these cruises, we don't have triples or quads. Just wanted to let you know that we don't have that capability. But what we're offering right now, because we're trying it out, we're trying to see if we'll be a good fit for, to bring on families here in the future. What we're doing right now to accommodate these families is once they purchase the adult stateroom, the children's stateroom, which usually is the second one, is going to be at 50% off. So that's what we're doing for the family cruises. For those who are very interested, please reach out to me, reach out to your regional sales director, and we can give you further information about those family cruises. But it is available, and we do have a lot of space on that. And again, it's July. I'm getting those dates here right now. There we go. It is July, I'm sorry, I had it backwards. July 17th on the Rhine from Amsterdam to Basel. And then Danube is on July 15th. And that is going from Budapest into Passau, not Nuremberg, I'm sorry. So Budapest to Passau, that is July the 15th.
Excellent, thank you. So I know we talked a little bit about the length of the variety of sailings that you offer. Could you tell us a little bit more about any pre or post excursions that you tend to see with that advisors best utilize?
Yeah, so we do have an extensive list of extensions that are tacked onto these river cruises. Example, a lot of people like to do Paris, a lot of people like to do Prague, a lot of people like to do Amsterdam, Zurich is another one, Lisbon and Madrid. So definitely we have the land extensions. We also have pre or post hotels that you can do. So if people want to stay in Basel, Basel is a very nice little town. A lot of people go to Zurich because Zurich is a nice city, but many people just go over to Basel and forget that Basel exists. Definitely, we do a pre and post there. We have a pre and post in Nuremberg. We have a pre and post in Vienna. I can do the 5-day. Same thing with Budapest. Same thing with Bucharest. So we do have pre and post hotels normally on all of our embarkation and debarkation ports.
Excellent, thank you. And we are just here close to time, so I just wanted to close out with Andy. What is the best resource for our advisors to utilize to learn about additional trainings, to learn about any FAM opportunities? Can you present that information one more time for us?
Absolutely. So 3 ways to do it. One is our agent portal at scenicusa.com on the upper right-hand corner. Actually, I'll share my screen really quick so you folks can see where it is. Let's see. Aaron, you can see my screen again?
Yes, yep, we're seeing your screen.
Okay, right here, agent portal and scenicusa.com, right here, the agent portal, the first one. You click on that, it'll take you to the agent portal. And folks, play around here. There's the Agent Academy, like I said, webinars and events. It's just a whole different bunch of materials that you can. Again, you have the social media, like I mentioned. Here's to the sales team, brochures. This is honestly the littlest, kind of the minimized thing that people don't use. And I definitely, it's the best way to know the ships, to look around. We have a whole 360 deck plan, which is phenomenal. So definitely you can take a peek at that in our ships. The other resource is our Facebook, with Scenic and Emerald has a group trade, has the trade Facebook that they can go into and know about any announcements or anything like that. And the third resource will be us, your regional sales directors, which are here. If you're your sales team, so I won't put up the slide anymore. It will tell you every single one, from our Vice President of Sales, Ann Chamberlain. I'm not sure some folks know who she is already, as she did work for ASTA. And then here is everyone else that is here with the state that they cover, the telephone number and email, and here's yours truly right here.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Andy. As I mentioned before, this webinar was recorded. So if you'd like to listen to the presentation again or jot down any information that Andy shared in his wonderful slides, it will be available to ASTA members at asta.org in just a few short days. So thank you again to our partners at Scenic Group and all of you who have joined for today's webinar. This will conclude today's presentation. Hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. Andy, anything to say to close us out?
Thank you everyone for joining. Hope to see one of your clients or even yourself on a Scenic or Emerald cruise here in the future. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Excellent. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks.